my name's Warren and welcome to another episode of the 33 Shake vlog, which today is all about Maranoia, otherwise known as the wholly irrational fear that you are completely unprepared for your forthcoming major endurance race, whether it's cycling, running, triathlon, whatever it may be, despite having done loads and loads of training. Now, it sounds daft, it makes no logical sense, but Maranoia is a very real thing. It's a total race wrecker. It could even cost you a nipple, as you will find out further on in this video. We don't want that happening to you. We want you racing fast, strong and happy, and with all of your nipples in place. I'm assuming two, but just in case there are any scaramangers out there, let's just keep those nipples looked after, not let the Maranoia get the better of them, because frankly, at 33 Shake, we are all about giving you the maximum tools so that you can unlock your best performance. We do that in these videos by sharing the latest in training, mindset, nutrition, tips and tricks for your performance. And we do it in store at 33shake.com with our absolutely stunningly knockout, drop down gorgeous, delicious, powerful natural sports nutrition. With that said, let's get into the show and let's dig in to the weird world of Maranoia. So, as we've said, Maranoia, as a definition, it's the irrational fear that you're not ready for your race, despite the fact that you've done loads of training, done loads of research, tested loads of kit. You are ready, but in your mind, now you're getting freaked out. It's called Maranoia. Now, if you are a cyclist or a triathlete or a swimmer or an obstacle course racer, don't think Maranoia is just a runner's thing. Don't think you've got away with it just because you're not a runner. Frankly, it's only because Maranoia sounds like paranoia. Obstacle course racer-noia is never really going to cut it. So, it applies to anyone doing big races. We're all at risk. It's a terrible affliction, and it does not discriminate. It doesn't care whether you're an amateur. It doesn't care whether you're a super experienced pro. The Maranoia heebie-jeebies can strike anyone. When does Maranoia strike? Clearly, it comes up about 1 to 3 weeks before your race. And how would you ever know you were suffering? Well, fortunately, I'm glad you asked that question, because at 33 Shake, we have a very handy and not made up at all acronym so that you can always tell if you or a close friend or even a competitor, might be a useful competitive advantage, find out if they or you are suffering from Maranoia. And this acronym is SCARY. How convenient is that? Easy to remember, right? S. What's the S for? It's for the sudden dread that you are miles behind everyone else in your training. You know how that feels. You're feeling pretty good. You turn up at the race, you look around and go, oh my God, everyone is much fitter than me. Clearly they're not. They're all thinking the same thing. That's number one. S of scary is for the sudden dread that you're not ready and everyone else is. C of scary. This is for cold sweats. These are the cold sweats. These are the chills, maybe a little bit of a sniffle, and it's the sudden feeling that you are definitely coming down with a cold or a bug or something else. Now, by the way, if you are, you might want to check out one of our other videos, which is on post-exercise immunosuppression, which is basically the reason why you do get sick when you're training a lot, despite being super fit. Good news is, you can beat it. That video will tell you all about it. We'll stick the link in the show notes. Anyway, back to our acronym. SCARY. S for sudden dread, C for cold chills, cold sweats, cold chills, and definitely feeling like you're getting sick. A, absolutely every niggle is now not just a niggle, it's clearly a race-ending injury, and you probably better go and have your leg amputated rather than enter that race. R, reassurance is futile. Doesn't matter how many people tell you not to worry, you're worrying. And Y, your plan. Okay, this is the one that you have worked on, that you have slaved over for months, for weeks, for hours, for days, however long it is. It's your plan. Suddenly you realise it's rubbish and it's only fit for the bin. So these are the symptoms of Maranoia. If these are hitting you, then you are at risk. Just remember scary. Give yourself a little bit of self-diagnosis. Now, if you are listening to this and going, he's clearly lost the plot, I'll just suggest that you are in that camp where, let's just put it in a race context. You've done a really big race, you finished the race. Invariably, one of your first reactions at the end of a huge race is, never again. Within 48 hours, you'll be signing up for another one. This is the beauty of endurance sports. But the brain forgets the immediate horror, remembers the nicer things, and back you go. The cycle continues. This is what happens with Maranoia. Outside of race time, you're like, that's ridiculous. That makes no sense at all. But as soon as that race is near, what do you know? There's Maranoia chipping away on your shoulder just when you least expected it. So, of course, when you don't have a race anywhere near, this sounds like madness, because basically it is. Doesn't stop it happening, doesn't stop it affecting people. You might wonder, sitting there, even if, let's say you've not raced before, and you're thinking, could this even be a thing? Why would an otherwise sane and sensible person suddenly fall apart from the brain down in such spectacular fashion? Well, I don't know what we can say is it is a very real thing. And as an example of how real, two of my favourites come from when I ran the Marathon des Sables in 2009. This, for anyone who doesn't know the race, this is a self-sufficient multi-day run across the Sahara, kind of a marathon and a bit, give or take a day, carrying all your stuff, clearly in the heat. And it's not uncommon for this to be quite an early race for people to do. It's a very aspirational thing. People sign up and go and do it. But either way, what happens is when you arrive in Ouarzazate, which is where they park you on the end of the Sahara Desert, you now have all of these Marathon des Sables runners who are suddenly together for the first time. 97% of racers, give or take, in this event, have never done it before. It's kind of a bucket list thing, a once-only thing. Some people will go back, but they are a very small minority. So you've got, let's say, between 700 and 1,000 people who've never done the race before and who have never been in close proximity with another Marathon des Sables runner. Maybe one or two mates or a couple of people who've done it before, so a handful, but not an entire aeroplane, bus, airport, hotel of them. That's all that anyone's talking about. Of course, you don't know anybody. What's the common ground? We're doing the Marathon des Sables, so you talk about training, you talk about kit, you talk about race plans. And what do you know? Amid this pressure cooker where everyone is scared, everyone is nervous, nobody basically knows what's really about to happen. Everyone has their own theory, everyone has done their own research, some better than others, but it doesn't matter. Everyone's arrived with a plan. But the other people's plans are probably different. Now, where this went wrong for two people the year that I ran, very unfortunately, there was one guy who was suddenly convinced of the need for a warm-up run the day before the race. Now again, with the cold logical head on, a warm-up run before 150 plus miles of running through the Sahara Desert is possibly unnecessary, but he was in a hotel room with three people who thought that was a good idea. Now maybe that was something they did all the time. Anyway, he wasn't going to, he met them, decides it's a good idea, goes running with them, trips over a guide rope or a brick or whatever it was, and trashes his ankle, can't run the Marathon des Sables. Race ended before it even began. And the second one, it's the nipple incident I alluded to early on in the podcast, in the video, as a shameless teaser to get you to come this far with me. Now, hopefully you're still enjoying it and you're sticking with it. I am going to get to the nipple story now. The nipple story is this. Again, Marathon des Sables, pressure cooker, everyone's uncertain, nobody really knows. Lots of people have theories, everyone's done their work, often a lot of different answers. These guys, again, you're sharing hotel rooms with people you don't know the night before. And this guy realises that his companion, who he's sharing the room with, has shaved his chest. And he says, oh, why did you shave your chest? And his companion says, well, it's to stop my rucksack chafing. Because in the Marathon des Sables, you need to carry everything that you're going to be using throughout the course of the race, your sleeping bag, your food, everything like that for the week. Basically, if it isn't in your pack on the start line, then you don't have it till the end of the race. The only thing the organisers will give you is water. So running, carrying weight is one of the unusual features of the race. And so this guy says, yeah, I shaved my chest and this stops my rucksack from chafing. And a light bulb goes off in our hairy-chested friend's brain. He goes, that's a brilliant idea. Logically, of course it is. Makes a lot of logical sense. He now decides to shave his chest for the first time in his life. And first swipe, ka-chunk, straight through the nipple. Not the time to learn how to shave your chest, really. And I can bet that the bandaged up, bloody, oozing, swollen nipple was an awful lot more painful than a slightly hairy chest that he'd happily run with for his entire training. Anyway, this is how Maranoia can really strike. Like we said, it's not rational and it can hit anybody. So how do you beat it? The golden rule to beating Maranoia is to stick to your plan. As I suggested earlier, whenever you turn up at a race, everyone has a plan, and they're probably all slightly or even extremely different. This doesn't mean that your plan is rubbish. It is the best plan you have got on the day, or the week before, or 2 weeks before. The classic saying, never try anything new on race day. Stick to the plan you have. That's how you beat Maranoia. Like, you've done the work, you've done the research, and changing that 1, 2 weeks, 2 days, whatever, before your race is not going to help you at all. It's only going to send you back to the start. So stick to your plan. What you then need to do is to execute that plan. And if you find at the end, okay, I think I could have done better, or that didn't work, look at what didn't work. Look at what could be better. Now plan for the next one. But that's it. Literally, if you want to beat Maranoia, then know that your plan is good. Stick to it, have confidence in it, execute it, and if it needs changing afterwards, well, use those lessons to come back even stronger and faster next time. But just remember that giving in to Maranoia is basically like stepping on a snake in a game of snakes and ladders. You're just going to go whizzing right back to the beginning and waste a lot of time and effort, and you may even lose a nipple. And as I said at the beginning, we do not want that at 33 Shake for any of you. So look, I really hope that that helps you guys beat Maranoia, race awesome, race strong, race fast, and race happy, because that's all we want to see at 33 Shake. Now, if you'd like to connect with all things 33 Shake, then you can find us all over social media, here, there, and everywhere. All of our links to both the rest of our vlogs, to all of our social channels, to our podcast, our blog, the whole lot. It's all in the show notes below. And if you are looking for the very best in nutrition for your running, your cycling, your triathlons, your obstacle course racing, whatever it may be, then why don't you check us out? You'll find us at 33shake.com.